This week saw a dramatic reshaping of global geopolitics. With Palestine recognition, Trump's shifting stance on Ukraine, Russia's escalation, and NATO's red lines all colliding on the world stage. The most striking diplomatic move came as Britain, Canada, Australia, Portugal, and then France and several European partners formally recognized the state of Palestine. A wave of recognition that left the United States isolated on the UN Security Council. Israeli leaders condemned the move as a reward for terrorism, while Palestinian officials hailed it as a long overdue step towards statehood. The recognition deepened the rift between Washington and its closest allies, and set the stage for fierce debate at the UN General Assembly. Inside Gaza, Israeli bombardments intensified, with dozens killed daily and nearly 500,000 displaced. The UN Commission of Inquiry accused Israel of seeking permanent control, while humanitarian agencies warned of collapsing hospitals and mass starvation. Protests erupted across Europe, including a nationwide general strike in Italy, as dockworkers blocked arms shipments bound for Israel. At the UN General Assembly in New York, President Trump delivered one of his most combative speeches yet. He blasted the UN as dysfunctional, declared that "your countries are going to hell," and warned NATO should consider shooting down Russian aircraft violating Allied airspace. He dismissed climate change as a con job and attacked European migration policies as a threat to Western civilization. But the real surprise came after his meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy. Trump posted that Ukraine can reclaim all its territory with NATO and EU support, a dramatic reversal from his earlier insistence that Kyiv would need to cede land for peace. European officials welcomed the words, but privately worried Trump was setting them up to shoulder the costs of Ukraine's war effort. Analysts debated whether this was a genuine pivot or a negotiating bluff designed to shift responsibility onto Europe. On the battlefield, Ukraine escalated its drone campaign against Russian oil infrastructure, striking refineries in Bashkortostan and Volgograd. Russia retaliated with one of its largest missile and drone barrages of the war. More than 600 projectiles launched in a single night, killing civilians in Dnipro and forcing NATO states like Poland and Estonia to scramble jets. Estonia reported a direct airspace violation by Russian MiG-31S, the most serious breach in 2 decades. NATO condemned the incursion as reckless, and diplomats warned Moscow that further violations could trigger force, including the downing of Russian planes. Meanwhile, Iran conducted an undeclared missile test, rebuilding facilities recently struck by Israel. The move heightened fears of a wider regional conflict, especially as Trump unveiled a new Gaza peace framework while simultaneously announcing sweeping tariffs. 100% on pharmaceuticals, 50% on kitchen cabinets, and more. The tariffs rattled markets, while gold surged to near-record highs above $3,780 an ounce, as investors fled to safe havens amid escalating global tensions. Midweek, Zelenskyy used his UN address to warn of a looming global arms race, fueled by Russia's aggression and the rise of AI-driven drone warfare. He urged urgent international action to regulate autonomous weapons, warning that without it, the battlefield chaos in Ukraine could spread worldwide. His words resonated as mysterious drone incursions shut airports in Denmark and Norway, raising fears of hybrid attacks and miscalculation. Subscribe now if you want fact-driven weekly breakdowns like this, and drop a comment with your thoughts on which development you think will shape the months ahead. The broader picture is stark. The recognition of Palestine has fractured Western unity. Israel's war in Gaza is intensifying under global scrutiny. Trump has pivoted on Ukraine while escalating tariffs and blasting allies. Russia is testing NATO's airspace and unleashing mass strikes. Iran is flexing its missile program, and markets are flashing red as gold soars and shipping routes reroute under pressure. This was a week where diplomacy, war, and economics collided, and the risks of escalation grew sharper. That's the world this week. Stay sharp, stay informed, and I'll see you next Sunday.